Good morning, traders and friends and family, all of the above. And to them, they, those people, those traders, happy new first day of the quarter, the third quarter here. And of course, this week we have the 4th of July, which these holiday weeks are usually a little bit on the positive side. 4th of July generally is. Um, So I think it's Thursday, right? Yeah. So we're off on Thursday. And it could slow up by Wednesday, and who knows, even starting today. So let's take a look and see what we have. Let's start with this ES and take a look at this profile because market profile for me um, uh, is just a great tool because you could do a little step away from the the forest and see the trees better. So now it doesn't mean I have 10 screens. I have everything that Kyle has and Linda has, and they show their charts. So I don't have to show uh, the same stuff, but as you know, I show market profile. It's one of my favorite tools. All right, so let's take a look at this. This was a crazy opening. We opened here kind of in the middle, uh, not in the middle, but inside this. You see this big blue shaded area. I call it the pool, where we're staying afloat and we're staying inside that area. You could see what happened when we came out of it. We had a nice rally the first hour and a half. Could not take out the all-time highs. Came pretty close, right? Hang on a second, I'll get my drawing tools here. Um, Back when we made this all-time high, that was a trap. Europe, well, actually, Asia first made a higher high here. Um, you can see that. I don't know if you guys could see that. So hang on one second. Asia made a higher high, all-time high, and then Europe made a higher high to continue the all-time high. But we failed to even test above Asia's high. And then, of course, the market sold off and he had a long liquidation, which is typical when you make these all-time highs in the overnight session and we can't take it out. Then you have a dog pile out, as Linda would say, and you have the buyers from Asia, the buyers from Europe coming in, and early morning sellers start to pile in, and of course we sold off. But we continued to stay inside this big area that I kind of highlighted in blue. I like to do that just to remind us that we're still in a big coil where the market's trying to balance. Now, interesting enough, Asia got out of this area here on Thursday night, and then Europe made a higher high. We did get up above the overnight highs, but we still never took out the over or the all-time highs. So that was, it's kind of telling us that we're having trouble here to get up there. But you have to consider last week, we're still bullish, very bullish. We tested almost the all-time highs again, right? And for the last day of the second quarter, we closed not far from the all-time highs. We're still in an uptrend. You can't deny it. You have to still, respect the upside. We could very well get back up and try to test into this around these highs again, possibly today. Although I kind of feel that we're going to stay inside this balanced area between 60 here and that low 55.10-ish that we kept testing. You could see how many times we tested this low, right? Now, if we do happen to take that low out, and we get some kind of momentum and some volume coming out below that low, then all bets are off. We could start to really sell off a bit. and maybe work our way all the way back down and start to work our way into this gap here. This was a gap from way back here that we left during the overnight session at lows and this high. Anyway, with that being said, we take out this 55.10 level. We're probably going to sell off pretty good, and we could start a leg down. So treat this, though, just like a pretty good bullish scenario at the moment, because we've taken out the highs, did not close above there, but could not take out all these lows down here at 10, at the 10 level, right? Let me do this before we move on. You can see what I did here with this Friday distribution from Market Profile. Now we have some new members, so I want to kind of explain. If you don't have Market Profile, this is a good way to take a look at it to understand what this structure is under the hood. This is a 30-minute market profile. This is 1 day. The red is the US session. This gold, if you want to call it, is Europe, and this is Asia. I like to split all these three different zones out in sessions, because this way I could see when we made the highs, did we respect it, levels or not? What kind of volatility we had overnight. If you smash them together, all of those, it's a little bit hard for me to break it apart and know when these were made without like doing a lot of work to look into the distribution. So I break them out. And you can do that on your dailies. This is Window Trader, and I use Window Trader with Photon Trader. All right, so getting back to the CES here, the overnight highs actually come in at a pretty decent level. This 55.42, it's the point of control, that's where we traded the most on this day. It's kind of the inside cave, test reject up here, test reject here. I mean, this was a big area, and I think this will be important. And of course, the overnight highs, Europe respected the pivot pretty nice here. You could see three tops, right? All right. On the flip side, this was a huge area during the week. This is the point of control from Friday. It's the high volume node for this entire week. For quite a while, this is a pretty big volume here. You can see it's the over-under. So my pivot is right at this 55.42. I think if they get back below 30 on the opening here, we might have a chance to try to test that 10 level. But we're in this big coil, and you can't predict where a coil is going to, move to. If you took a big spring and you turned the spring real tight, and until you couldn't hold it and you let it go, you couldn't predict which way the spring is going to, fly. And that's how this coil is. But keep in mind, the market's still very bullish. Now, if I just take you to one of my other screens here, maybe just to get another view, you can probably see this over here. I don't really buy into the whole pitchfork thing as far as major support and resistance, but it gives you a little bit of a idea that this, we're still looking super to the upside. Now on this green here, this PAV reversal, if we take out the 55.10 level, you'll get a reversal sell, but then I think you can break down pretty good. The next stop you could see is this right here, this level 94.95 is the daily EMA, and then you got the 30 high moving average, 30 low. But for the time being, we'll let the market drag us in. It is a holiday week, which is usually somewhat quiet and more on the friendly side, right? So one data point at a time. Don't chase the market. Don't get bearish unless we take out the 10. I don't get too, you know, if you do short it, you have to be careful because, you know, we're still holding this nice consolidation near the all-time highs. So now in that in itself is bullish, right? But if we get above the pivot 42, then we can really get something going. We'll see how the market wants to open at this point. All right, let's move on to some of these other markets. Let's take a look at this crude. Um, Crude is somewhat in a holding pattern, trying to hold, and we're trading above it. Now, this is the same kind of situation where we have price overlap for 6 days in a row inside a very tight range, right? 80-20 up to this 81.90, very tight for this crude. But you could see the crude has been doing that. We balanced, come out of balance, try to balance, same over here. So the crude's been in a nice rally from June 1st, I believe 72 all the way up to this 82. Pretty decent rally. And I think the crude is going higher. I do like the upside. I think overall, the measurement for me is around 85, and we're not far from 86.20, way up there, that we made back in April, the swing highs for the year. So I do like the crude. I'm not going to fade it. I think the crude will continue to move higher. The low that we made, it was the top of this coil, and we're starting to move higher. There's no gap, you know, we're moving to the upside. We did test the overnight highs, and right now 82.29 is the overnight highs, or this morning's highs, and we took out the high by maybe a ticker tested it. But I think the crude will work its way higher. Very tight range already from the opening. Nothing to get too crazy about. And the flip side, just, you know, we have to pay attention to both sides of the market. The pivot comes in at 81.50 to 55. It's the point of control from yesterday or from Friday and from Thursday. So that's been a big area. It's kind of the inside pocket on the downside here. So if they happen to get below there, then all bets are off. You know, you might go to the dark side just for a little bit. All right, let's take a look at here at the gold. Gold's been a terrible trade. You know, we had this big move down, tried to balance a little bit, came out of balance, but we didn't have to close it below this whole balanced area. So it's a little bit of a bear trap. We got down to test that 2304.20 from the swing low, and we kind of failed to really do any damage down there and came right back. So we're back into this zone. You could see the pivot smack almost in the middle of this kind of price overlap. You know, you have to take this out of the equation because it was a bit of a head fake, right? Went down, closed down here, opened up, went right back in. So back into the middle. So it's some two-way traffic, I think, today. I don't think you'll get any huge moves at the moment. 2338 is my pivot. It's kind of a high volume node. It's a previous POC over here from Friday's US session, the top of the value area from the overnight session, the previous POC from the overnight, and the previous POC area pretty much from Wednesday, or Thursday. Not a whole lot to say about the gold otherwise, you know, other than you could probably sell rallies by dips type of day. It's not going to be, for me, I don't think it's going to be a trending day, but, you know, they would have to really convince me that we got some going here by having some momentum and volatility, which I don't think is going to happen. The CDC was interesting. You know, it took out this high back 1080, what was it, 108.08, I believe that. basically. Let's see. Yeah, okay, 108, 0750, whatever. It's rounded off to 08. And then came back to kind of this area here where now we have a gap from the lows from this US session lows to the Friday's US session highs. So it didn't really get back into the gap, nor did it even test the overnight lows. I kind of like the EC. I think the EC is going to try to move a little higher. And I think we have a better chance to test above first and get at least close to the overnight highs or that 108.08 area from before from the US session. Now the pivot is 107.90, just kind of right around this flip zone. This has been kind of an area, important area. So now that we're above it, maybe we trend higher a bit. And it's kind of what it's looking like to me. All right, these bonds not looking so hot, right? They took out this swing low and they broke some. This was a pretty big major area. That's why I think we have this gap now lower. You got the 200-day moving average, SMA moving average coming in right around this 21. It's at 117.21. My pivot's at 23. That's the inside of these single prints. If they happen to get back into it above there, I think then you could get a pushback and maybe even get all the way up to the point of control from Friday, right? Don't think it's going to happen. That would be very hard for the market to do at this point. It just broke major support, so we could continue to have this leg below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the gap just so that, as we trade through the day, it's a reminder that we have a gap from Friday's low to this morning's high, which is the opening for the most part. So the next level would be down here, 116.05, which is very possible because we took out this swing low that we had, and that was 106.23. So we took that out, and we're on our way to maybe test this 116.07. All right. All right, let's go back to the main drawing board. And, I think we're not going to have too much of a range early on. You could see the overnight session is very tamed, around a 20 handle range, not too much to write home about as far as the ES goes. The NAS and the ES kind of like came into a better adjustment and alignment. All indices are up, which is no surprise. 4th of July week, first day of the third quarter. So, there's going to be a tendency to rally, at least in the AM. And if we don't get too far and come back to the other side, you'd have to have some good volume and some good sellers. Right now, looking pretty good. Can't deny this holiday week. And, just keep in mind, we're near all-time highs, and we're in a holiday week. So the tendency is going to be for us to try to move higher first, I think. And we are in this big coil and balanced area where if we get below 55.10, that wouldn't be good. But for the time being, we're holding. And you can also see, take a look here, right? This is the high volume node, this 30 to 32 area. You got to kind of give it a zone because it was pretty important. So getting back above it on the opening, probably going to make a play for 42 if we don't make it by the opening. All right. So I would let the first 15 minutes play out unless there's an extreme reason to jump in the market because it's the first day of the new the third quarter, and you do get some programs that come in, buyers and sellers that do their thing on the first day. So let's let those wiggles and jiggles play out. All right, I'm going to grab some coffee. I'll be right here. Let's have a fun week. Um, by the way, everybody, you know, it's nice to see some new faces in the room. And you can always go to Traders Highway there, and I believe you can log in from the into the once you're a member, of course, you can go into the members resources where we have all the uh, all the different talks that we've gave, all the indicators that we have here. You can have for free, and any lectures that we did. So, all right, let's rock and roll. We got 8 minutes to go.